There's an increase in Jamaica's net international reserves. Tax revenues are up and inflation is going down. Yes, there's much to celebrate in our local economy as the push continues to improve the lives of all Jamaicans. Hi, I'm Audrey Williams, and thanks for joining us on another informative issue of Jamaica Magazine. As you may have suspected, on today's show we talk the economy. The Bank of Jamaica's Governor, Brian Winter, sits in the hot seat on Issues and Answers. Plus, the implementation of the Jamaica Global Logistics Hub is on in earnest. Find out how you can be prepared for this transformative initiative. Also, the country is experiencing severe drought conditions. Portfolio Minister Robert Pickersgill tells us about the government's efforts to mitigate the effects. Stay with us. We have those stories and much more inside the pages for you.
As the country continues to experience the effects of the prevailing drought conditions, the Minister of Water, Land, Environment and Climate Change, Robert Pickersgill, will address the nation. Tune in for a national broadcast this Sunday evening, July 20, on this station. That's a national broadcast by the Minister of Water, Land, Environment and Climate Change, Robert Pickersgill, this Sunday, July 20, on this station.
The value of the Jamaican dollar is a topical issue for many of us. To provide a clear insight into the strength of the dollar and how we as a nation can help to maintain its worth, we've brought into studio Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, Brian Winter. He's next with host Ian Boyne.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. Today we talk the economy again. We talk finance. We talk the exchange rate, the kinds of things that you want to hear about. We have with us the Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, Mr. Brian Winter, and we are going to be putting to him some of the questions that you would have asked him if you had the opportunity. We thank you so much for your company. Governor, good to have you on the show.
Very good to be here.
As you know, people's attention has been on the exchange rate. This is not something that is ethereal or away from them. It is something that affects them in the pocket.
Well, I think for Jamaica,
Yes.
just being very practical, we did have an overvalued currency.
Well, overvalued.
Yes. An adjustment has been necessary. And that adjustment was necessary to help to compensate for the fact that our inflation rate in Jamaica, prices here were rising faster by quite a lot than the prices in our trading partner countries. So an adjustment has been necessary to compensate for that. That adjustment has happened in a major way in the last 18 months to 2 years. And so the worst aspects of that are behind us.
Of course.
And
So we should not be
issues-
seeing an aggressive movement in our exchange rate. That's what you're saying.
I think starting with the fact that our exchange market is a market-determined rate, rather. The rate is determined by buyers and sellers in a market. It's very open, and we publish what we call the exchange rate in Jamaica is the average of all of the buyers and the sellers, and we publish that every day. So it's a very open market, and that makes sure that we are counting every trade. Having said that it's market-determined, its adjustment, it's the depreciation that we've seen should slow, has been slowing relative to last year, relative to the year before, because we are seeing lower and lower domestic inflation. Bank of Jamaica is very focused on keeping that inflation rate down. It's still higher than we would like it to be, but it has come out last year below our target range, which we're very encouraged by. And this year, so far, inflation is coming out at the low end.
Which is what?
Of our range. Well, inflation last month was just put out by Statin at 0.1% for the month of June.
Annualized, that would be.
Annualized for the 12 months, that's 8%.
8%.
Which is right in the middle of the range that we've projected for the full fiscal year to come. But for the first quarter, the first 3 months of this fiscal year, 0.1 in June, similarly low figures, we've seen for the whole quarter, for the fiscal year so far, 0.8%. So the 7 to 9% that we expect when the full year unfolds, the remaining 9 months added to this, This gives us a good reason to expect that we will come within our range or nearer to the bottom of it.
Yes. The Bank of Jamaica saw it necessary to intervene in the foreign exchange market last week. Was this a late acknowledgement that your hands-off policy was not working, and was your hand forced?
No, not at all.
Why the intervention?
There's a lot said about the intervention and about whys and wherefores, a lot of discussion in the public domain, but the bank's policies with respect to intervening in the foreign exchange market have not changed.
Hasn't changed?
Have not changed. The bank intervenes and has, throughout all of my time as governor, and I believe before that, intervenes in the market to address issues of when the market reaches a point where it either is disorderly or it's approaching or about to become what we call a disorderly market.
But why didn't the bank intervene before, Governor? The discussion about the exchange rate has been going on intensely for about 6 weeks and so on.
Well, the bank has intervened before. So we have intervened during this year. We've intervened on at least 2 other occasions during this year so far. We intervene as necessary. So the conditions just prior to our intervention, in our judgment, had reached a point where the pickup of the pace of the adjustment, which we saw, was not supported by any economic foundation.
So people were speculating on the dollar.
Well, in fact, the economic information was pointing in the other direction. Okay, so what we saw was, and this does happen in markets, when sometimes the movement itself becomes the reason why it goes on moving. At that point, you need
expectations, because people have an expectation that the movement will continue. That itself pushes the rate.
If I'm selling money, foreign exchange, and I have my money to sell, and I believe that tomorrow the rate, and I'm sure it'll be higher, then I will wait. If I'm buying and I believe it'll be higher tomorrow, I will insist on buying today. So if you just extrapolate that, you'll see that you can create conditions where the rate will move but nothing will trade. Those will be disorderly conditions. So we act to, at that point, as we did last week, to address the excess demand that is driving the situation, which we did, and it effectively settled the market.
And the rate has been appreciating.
The exchange rate appreciated immediately, and it continued in the following days to appreciate, which is settling down some of that fever, if you like. The key point about the devaluation and depreciation that's occurred so far is that A, it has slowed relative to previous years, and I'm saying that I expect it to continue to be slower and slower as we go forward. And
but
this
there's
is
no particular end point?
Yes, of course there's an end point. In fact, you know...
not in terms of the rate, you're saying, because it's a market. Oh, there is?
But I wouldn't call it an end, because every day is a new day. And my point, though, is that as the exchange rate depreciates, it also can appreciate.
We're speaking about some matters that might seem esoteric, but they are not. They relate to you, they relate to what is happening on a day-to-day basis, and they relate to the prospects for your development. The Governor of the Bank of Jamaica will continue to talk to us about the economy when we come back from our break.
Sunday is a family day. We like cook together, talk, share ideas, and help each other. We reason about things.
Welcome back to Issues and Answers. We have with us the Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, Mr. Brian Winter. Governor, would you be committed to saying that the Bank of Jamaica would not want to see the dollar move to 113? You would want to keep it at 112.
As a central bank governor managing markets, one thing we won't do is ever speak about an exchange rate. Mainly because we have the capacity to influence it, and then it would no longer be a market-determined rate, which is important to us. But at the same time, I can give the assurance, and I'm making a statement very clearly, that the worst is behind us in terms of exchange rate adjustment. In going forward, we should start to focus on what is the differential of inflation in Jamaica with our trading partners. Bank of Jamaica is committed to lowering the inflation rate, and we've been successful so far. And we believe, looking at our projections for the rest of the fiscal year, that we're going to continue to have a relatively low inflation rate.
With your view that the worst is behind us, would that mean the average person might ask, would that mean that we are not likely to see the dollar go to 114, 115 by the end of this year, if the worst is behind us?
Well, I think
Jamaicans want to understand, what does that mean? The worst behind us and what is to come?
Well, the first thing we have to do is to break the idea of just one number, which I know is difficult because of the direction
we have to deal with, yes.
But I want to
prices
emphasize,
go up as these numbers go up, Governor.
They do, but it's an interesting issue, because what we have seen in the last year is that the rate at which the exchange rate passes through to prices has slowed down quite significantly.
That's a fact?
That is a fact. It is much less than we have been used to in our historical periods. So the perception or the view that that will happen is understandable because of our history. It's what has happened.
But the facts don't bear that?
In this period, the facts do not bear that out. In fact, and we see cases which reach the newspapers from time to time where you'll hear about somebody who tried to put up a price and then had to roll it back. So there are price increases. It is in this, as I said, 8%.
People are feeling
8%.
But people feeling more than that too, Governor.
Some maybe, others less. But 8% is a good average for the ordinary man in the street. Okay, that's what the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, that basket covers an ordinary person's experience.
Goods,
it's a range of goods. I think it's reasonably robust. We could debate exactly which one, but it's the best indicator, and it's a pretty good one. The key is, whatever your indicator is, that you are slowing down that rate of increase. And what happened in the last year is that the pass-through from exchange rate to inflation was much lower than the historical norm. Bank of Jamaica has observed that very carefully, and there are reasons for it. And those reasons are likely to persist. So it is what has allowed us to improve competitiveness in the last year, 18 months, because the nominal depreciations have happened that we've all seen. 13%, 13.3% 2 years ago, 10.8% last year. This year, as I said earlier, it's running at a slower rate than that 10.8%. And for the fiscal year, full year when we get through it, I'm indicating that the rate of that that variable should be quite a bit less than last year's. At the same time, inflation has been lower still, and so our relative price competitiveness with our overseas trading partners has improved by some 9 percentage points in the last year, which in these things I can indicate is a lot. And that's what Mrs. Lagarde was referring to in saying that you've actually done a lot, Jamaica. And when she says a little more to go,
very little,
she emphasized that. That's based on an analysis. Let me just point out what it's all about at the end of the day. It's actually about this exchange rate thing, is about your current account of your balance of payments, or if I could put it another way, your net exports of goods and services. That's what Jamaica has, a deficit on that account that's very large.
Yes.
Meaning that to do the things we do, somebody has to lend us the money, which is not sustainable. So closing that deficit, improving your net exports is a key goal. And I'm happy to say that has improved quite significantly and is set to reach a point of stability sooner than we were initially expecting, which is good news, because in a sense, all this exchange rate competitiveness is about what is the exchange rate that will help you to have a balanced position on your current account.
Finally, Governor, the 800 million that the government has raised, this will give greater confidence in the market and greater stability in the exchange rate with the exchange market, you would say?
Well, I think it does a number of things. I mean, first, it is a very positive signal of the strong international or external investors' confidence in Jamaica. And that, I think, is a very good validation, helpful validation of all the hard work and the sacrifice that Jamaica has been making in this year, and it's a tangible evidence of it. But yes, it certainly on the monetary side eases concerns about the NIR.
Yes.
You know, this must put any speculation or concern about that behind us.
And gives you a greater ability to defend the dollar.
It provides. We will, as I want to say, whatever level of reserves, we will always ensure that there's an orderly market. But yes, having adequate reserves or more puts you in a stronger position, so people perceive the strength behind what you say. And that's very, very useful, and I think it's a powerful signal on the monetary side. But on the fiscal side, it's very important, because what it does, it gives the government funds to now essentially repay debt, which is consistent with their debt strategy. It lowers their interest costs, because this was a good coupon rate relative to what they're going to be repaying, good interest rate. Yes. So interest costs fall, which further improves the fiscal balance, creates more fiscal space, so the government can turn towards the things that we know we need to have done, government should do for us in terms of investment and capital spending and so on. So that's good. But also it has addressed the question of, it has met the financing needs of the government for this fiscal year.
Yes.
And even into next fiscal year.
So we won't need any taxes this year, yes.
Financing needs, it has now addressed the issues of, I think it covers the bond financing needs for next year as well. So what that means is that the government's profile from a fiscal point of view is now less risky and has improved. And that, I think, is very helpful for confidence and very helpful, therefore, for investors, foreign exchange markets and others.
Thank you for your very helpful interview today, Governor. We thank you very much. Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, Mr. Brian Winter, talking to us about some critical issues affecting the exchange rate and other matters. Next week I'll be back. Until then, Ian Boyne wishing you a very pleasant day.
It keeps our bodies working, our food nutritious, our living and working spaces clean, and our lives comfortable. Water, the most precious resource necessary for the sustenance of life on our planet. Don't waste it. Let's conserve on this critical commodity. In the house, invest in storage containers and buckets. Take quick showers instead of long baths, and invest in water-efficient shower heads, toilets, and faucets. You may also want to consider one-pot meals and cooking methods that don't require much water. You could also wash fruits and vegetables in a bowl and reuse the water on your plants or grass. When cleaning dishes, fill both sinks and use one for washing and the other for rinsing. The leftover water can be used to wash off the concrete or asphalt in your yard. If you must wash your car at home, aim for once a fortnight and use a bucket to do the washing instead of running the hose. Don't delay. Start your water conservation practices today.
Island-wide consultations for the implementation of the special economic zones have started. At least 16 zones are to be established, paving the way for export-driven initiatives, which will be a critical component of the Logistics Hub initiative. In this next feature, we show you how to be prepared and the opportunities to come from the hub.
Transnational corporations are seeking more cost-effective ways of doing business. The integration of shipping and logistics hubs with industrial zones is evolving as the less expensive new mode of moving products to consumers, and Jamaica is establishing itself as the fourth node in the global chain.
We're talking about a concentration of entities engaged in global commerce using our transportation infrastructure.
And creating more avenues for Jamaicans to access high-skill level, globally competitive, lucrative employment options. Jamaica's Logistics Hub initiative provides the local business sector with a near-shore distribution advantage, a base for generating enormous cargo flows, either as raw material, intermediate or finished goods, to the world's largest consumer markets.
What we offer is a shorter distance to market. We offer it at a lower cost. So instead of somebody ordering something, a manufacturer, a business, or even a final consumer, ordering something from China, and it takes 3 weeks to get here. If the goods are stockpiled in Jamaica, it can take 1 or 2 days. So it's things like that that we are demonstrating to businesses, to companies, and they are taking up that value proposition that Jamaica offers.
The new mode of operation creates more jobs both at the ports and the connecting industrial zones.
Cargo will come out of the port into the economic zones and undergo some form of transformation. That provides work for people in the assembly, it provides work for the technicians, even just putting in manuals in the appropriate language when the camera is shipped out. And that is where you have more economic benefit filtering into the economy.
Through agencies such as JAMPRO, the government has been attracting companies to set up shop in special economic zones. 16 zones have been identified, and as discussions advance with investors, work has started for the build-out of some infrastructure. It begins with the build-out of the Caymanas Economic Zone, spanning some 200 acres of production space in Phase 1 and an additional 1,500 acres of production space in Phase 2. Coupled with the Portland Bight Economic Zone, it will set the stage for thousands of new jobs, initially in construction-related tasks and later in a range of technical, manufacturing, administrative and related posts.
That is where the companies will require financial services, accounting services, legal services. They're required to purchase electricity, water. All of those economic activities benefit country. It provides employment.
While people will be working in the industrial zones, assembling or manufacturing products, those products will need to be transported, and that opens up work opportunities for drivers and trucking firms. The special economic zones are replacing what we previously knew as free zones and will be the heart and soul of Jamaica's logistics hub. Just as businesses in these zones will need to meet industrial standards, so too will the workforce.
The other hubs that exist across the world, they have zero unemployment. When you have a situation where everybody is employed, crime goes down. Other social ills are removed. The range of industries which we are targeting, biotechnology, medical devices, paper processing, these industries never existed in Jamaica.
These globally competitive companies are looking for engineers, technicians, value-added providers and others with internationally competitive skills and technological competencies. Jamaicans must, if they haven't already, quickly begin the process of getting international certification to fill the new job openings.
The thing is, in conjunction with training, we have to ensure that the training is certified to international standards.
The Caribbean Maritime Institute, CMI, with its School of Advanced Skill, is working with the local universities to train as many persons as possible and provide the required international certification to meet the demands. The CMI is also offering a special training course dubbed Logistics 101 to increase the public's understanding of the hub initiative. This is accessible when groups or organizations make a request.
So people can go to the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce website, the Logistics Hub Task Force, and you can register for this course. Equally, there'll be a link to the Caribbean Maritime Institute website. So you can go there and register, and you can request the course. As long as you have a cohort, we'll take it to you.
The doors of opportunities are open for Jamaicans to seize the moment to build economic success. To capitalize, local entrepreneurs and job seekers must be prepared and ready, globally competitive for Jamaica's changing industrial landscape.
Parents, children get immunized. Hear this! Immunization, it is a must. This is not a joke thing, this you can trust. It is required by law for entry to nursery, to daycare and to schools. Listen up, it is necessary to prevent diseases such as the measles, the poliomyelitis, the lockjaw and the whooping cough. Immunize your kids, keep them healthy, keep them strong. Prevent deadly diseases such as mumps, rubella and diphtheria. Immunize your child today. Immunization, a key to good health.
A message from the Ministry of Health and PAHO.
2 weeks ago, I made a statement in Parliament outlining the serious situation in regard to our water supplies across the country. Since that time, the situation has deteriorated considerably in several areas of the island. The fact is that inflows into a number of water supply systems are now well below normal. Additionally, rainfall that we had expected during May and June did not materialize. What this means is that the already serious water supply situation we are experiencing will most likely worsen. In response, we have redeployed 40 trucks, several of them to the most critical areas such as Clarendon and our breadbasket parish, St. Elizabeth, where farmers are reeling under the drought. These trucks will continue to service these areas until normal rainfall is restored. We have also provided an allocation to the parish councils and to the members of Parliament to deal with the trucking of water. In addition, Cabinet has approved a submission for additional funds to facilitate the trucking of water. My ministry and the government make every effort to deal with the immediate water supply challenges facing us. I am asking for your continued cooperation and understanding during these difficult, dry months. I urge you to conserve on your use of water at all times, but especially at this time. Every drop counts.
Just month before last, the girl Liza married, and she maga, you see. Every night as she one day a yard. She no see him till daylight. Me say before me married, I go hug up mango tree me, and me will live so me one. Before me married, I go hug up mango tree, and me will live so me one. And poor Liza, her husband a give her a cent, and she have to pay the rent. She have to find money, buy food and clothes, and mind the picnic rose. And me say before me married, I go bite me finger. And me will live so me one. Before me married, I go bite me finger. And me will live so me one.
Think on this. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. From author C.S. Lewis, reminding us to never give up. This is where we close the pages on today's magazine, but the pages continue to turn on our social network sites. Click on gis.gov.jm for more information on the economy, or follow us on Twitter at GIS News for more details on the issues explored on today's show. We value your feedback, so drop us a line at jamaicamagazine@gis.gov.jm. On behalf of the team here at the JIS, I'm Audrey Williams. Have a wonderful day.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.